What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Arch Valley. I am Arch Anthony, and it's been probably like a week and a half since the last video, and um, I just wanted to kind of explain why it's taken this long, and honestly why there hasn't been a whole lot of progress made since the last video. When we last left off, I mentioned that the next part of the zoo is going to be the uh, main attraction of this North American area. So pretty much right after the video, I stopped recording the video, I started kind of trying to design the habitat for the wolves, and it really took me most of last week to kind of finalize the design. At first, I guess we'll go through what the habitat is, and then I'll kind of lay out my previous thoughts. So it has this sort of main kind of, photo spot. You can take a picture in front of the den sign. And then there's 3 wolf statues, which is kind of symbolic of one of the stages of this habitat went through, which I'll explain later. Then there's another staff entrance, which is just copy and pasted from this, leading to the same area, which allows the staff to get over here. And just like a rock wall, kind of enter a cave. There's some conservation stuff about land sharing and sparing. Oh, and then you get an in cave look. There we go. The cave has 2 entrances, and we'll look at more of that in a second. And then this will lead down into the food court area, or you could also take the left here, and this is where the main lookout is, one of the main lookouts. So there's the wolves, they have a river, they have a waterfall. So some enrichment items. I built this bridge for them to get across the water because it looked weird how they swim. They just like doggy paddle, and it seemed like a waste. So I built this bridge for them, and they never use it. So I put the ball here, and sometimes they use it now, but it's still pretty rare. I included this little pipe in quotes, just as sort of like a detail piece. Like the water comes in from the waterfall out the pipe. That's why the water always stays the same level. Their habitat is pretty dense. They like it like really dense. Oh, I'm still in the camera mode, isn't it? Oh, my camera froze. I can't zoom out. Nice. Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So this is kind of going back to one of the reasons why there's not a lot of progress been made. I've been encountering a lot of bugs, and a lot of them, to be fair, have been fixed with the patch that came out last week. That was just a weird thing with the camera. I think it thought I was in this camera mode, but this wasn't activated, so it was like, what to do? But the first iteration of the habitat, there was a cave, an underwater path through the habitat, and the cave was kind of like in the center, and the wolves could go like up and over, and it didn't work great with just the pathing. In the game, the tunnels require such a large distance like up and over that it looked like it was just too high, like unrealistically too high. Why are my buffalo unhappy? Oh, they're stressed. Though, one of the few things I did add, and it was actually to solve this issue, was that the bison were getting stressed. Just real quick. So I added this wall. Like this was only this high, so I doubled it up, and now when they're stressed, they'll go in there and hide. That's just the first time since I've done that they've been distressed enough to get the alert. So I'll keep an eye on it. But anyhow, with just how big the paths need to be, the terrain just looks funny. So I don't really like doing that. I didn't like how it looked. So I changed it all again, made the path go around the outside, put the cave on one end, made it sort of like a mountainous area, and then just I blocked the viewing pass with the trees to give them kind of like two, kind of technically three areas to look out at, which seems to be like a more realistic approach as far as what a zoo would go. Again, I used like the main like the main barrier, plus this sort of like bush barrier. I mean, plus they're in like a pit, kind of, so they can't ever get close enough to get out. And then originally, when I got this design done, there was 3 wolves. This is before the patch. I didn't realize that wolves only in the game allowed 1 and 1, 1 male, 1 female. So I had 1 male and 2 females, and then they fought, which is what happens in the game when there's too many animals. And it put both of them. Both of them needed vets. 1 went to the vet successfully, came back. 1 went to the vet and got stuck there. It was in this vet right here, and it was you could see it highlighted. It was in the station on the bed. Oop. And then there's a vet standing here, and it was just frozen, and it would not heal. So what I had to do was take all of my animals out of the zoo, turn on aging, allow the wolf to just die of old age in the vet, and then bring all my animals back. I haven't had a whole lot of time to play this past week. I've been working a lot more. Right now we're kind of in our busy season at work, and plus I don't know if you can tell by my voice, but I have a little bit of a cold. It just kind of killed a lot of motivation to be creative. So while I've been dealing with these bugs, and there was another thing that I can't remember what happened, but there was another bug that I was having to deal with. It's kind of sucking up the time that I have to spend in the game dealing with those. But during this aging process, I let the bison, all the females were pregnant, so I let them have their babies. So now I just have half-a-year-old baby buffalo. The flamingos haven't really changed. The only other thing that I think I changed was I might have finished detailing this. I don't remember if that was in the last episode or not. And I added this second entrance. It's not actually a functional entrance yet, but this is kind of like a picnic area. It's going to serve as a group entrance. It's just a nice like generic group sign. I took a shot at making an RV with the shapes. It didn't turn out well, so this is just like a in-place Jeep. If I see a good vehicle, camping vehicle type thing on the workshop, I'll swap it out with that and give credit. And then the next section of the park is going to be this food court area, which is then going to transition into the South American area, which is going to be down here, and this is going to be all like built up and look nice. But yeah, no, I haven't really had time to make a lot of progress, as much progress as I've wanted. And there was something else I wanted to mention, but I'm blanking on it. Oh, I wanted to mention the plans that I've sort of changed. So over here, that was something fell off of my desk. Over here, right, there's not a big like entrance. There's not like parking lots or anything like that. It's kind of just like the park. So I think what I'm going to do is have this be like the hiking trail, repurposed to be sort of like a zoo expansion, and then have this area, which is going to be like an African area, maybe have like a safari, a bunch of African animals, and then have this be like the main entrance. So there's might be a parking lot over here, like a big entrance plaza, lots of shops, lots of buildings, and then it goes into like a more traditional looking zoo. Because I don't like how this is like, very trailish, like one path, like there's one deviation right there. But to fit with the terrain ideas that I have, like it kind of has to be like that, or else there's like large staircases. But yeah, so like my idea is like this was the zoo over here, and then they, this area went up for sale, and it was a trail, and they bought it and just kind of repurposed it into like the trail area. I might make this area bigger. It's just one pavilion right now. I think, I live sort of close to Knoebels Grove, which is a theme park, uh, and it's a free to enter theme park, and there's a lot of like picnic tables like and pavilions like this. Or like companies have kind of like parties that I think maybe recreating something like that here would be nice, and then maybe have like an entrance, like another separate path that connects over to like the food court area that you can kind of like avoid this area altogether. But yeah, no, it's a short video. I just kind of wanted to get something out to keep you updated. I know I didn't post anything last week, and yeah, I don't want to do that. I mean, I want to keep things kind of posted at least semi-regularly, but it's been a rough time here. Yeah, I don't know how much time I'm gonna get in the next week or so to play, so I don't know if there'll be an episode. And also, being completely honest, making buildings is my least favorite part of these kind of games. I like the detailing, the small things, the animals, the habitats and stuff like that. But my buildings are very bare bones for a reason, because I'm not particularly good at it, and I don't really enjoy it that well. But I think a food court here makes a lot of sense as a transition area, especially if I have another path that leads off into the Asian area when it's built, and this is sort of like a central hub that connects those three areas. Or plus also the group entrance could also go here as well. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this week, and yeah, if you have any feedback about the habitat, or maybe tips or inspiration for the food court, I'd appreciate it. And stay subscribed, and hopefully you watch the next video when it comes out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.